it's taken the college football world by storm. And that is the comments from Dabo Swinney on his weekly call-in show. Clemson head coach Dabo Swinney responding to Tyler from Spartanburg, a fan that called in. And I tell you guys, if you have not listened to the audio, we posted it on X last night. And guys, it's all over social media. You can find it anywhere. If you have not heard the audio, it's about 6 minutes long. It's a long listen, but it is well worth it. Highly entertaining. This guy, Tyler from Spartanburg, in case you have not heard, calls in. And man, he goes on this 3-minute rant, 2.5, 3-minute rant about how Dabo Swinney's making X amount of dollars and they're 4-4 and he's become prideful and arrogant, if you will, and is just like attacking Dabo Swinney, going one thing after another. You're not doing this, you're not doing that. And Dabo Swinney's response, folks, I mean, he goes in on this kid, goes in on him, breaking down, giving him a history lesson of all their successes and what they've done at Clemson and all that. And it's, again, the response is golden. And there's mixed reviews, right? There's mixed reactions from Gamecock fans, Clemson fans, and the college football world as a whole. Rivalry aside, right? Because that's what you have to do to be able to have an objective conversation about this. You can't look at this with your garnet shaded glasses, because if you do, everything that Dabo Swinney does is negative, right? You look at it as negative because this exact situation, I know there's some Gamecock fans out there, not to name this specifically, John Edward Kruger, that look at what Dabo Swinney did and say, he's this, he's that, he's terrible, he's the worst. But if the shoe were on the other foot, if Shane Beamer did this, oh, he's defending his program. He's defending himself. What a legend. That's my head coach. So you can't have it both ways. You got to be completely objective. You're either one side or the other. So I look at this Dabo Swinney thing. Rivalry aside, I have no issues with what Tyler from Spartanburg called in and said. It's a call-in show for fans. You want to call in? You want to bring the heat? You want to ask the tough questions that the Big J journos, the media, what have you, they are either too scared to ask or just simply can't ask in fear that their access may get revoked? Hey, I applaud that. Welcome to America. This is a free country. You can say and ask anything you want. Freedom of speech. But I also don't have a problem with what Dabo said. I have no issues with Dabo Swinney's response. Because the same way that you've got the freedom to ask whatever you want, Dabo Swinney has the freedom to put you in a body bag. And that's exactly what he did. Now, I will say, similar to some of the things that Shane Beamer's done before, I think Dabo Swinney could do a better job in regards to talking to his fan base. You know, I know Clemson fans, they've been a little bit ruffled by it, the way he's spoken to the fan base, the 1.5%, this is what's wrong with Clemson. This is Clemson fans have changed. Like, he's come at the fan base a lot, which I don't think is ever a good idea. I don't think it's ever a good move, because the fans are the reason you are getting the paycheck you are. The fans are the reason you're in the position that you are in. But at the same time, I have no issues with what Dabo Swinney said. I have no issues with his reaction, because Dabo Swinney's a human being, like we all are. And even though he's in a position of power, even though he's making incredible money, $11 million a year to coach football, Dabo Swinney's a human being. And that was a very human response, I thought, from Dabo Swinney. Tyler from Spartanburg's got all the freedom in the world to call in and attack his integrity. He's prideful. He's overpaid. You're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. That's fine. And in a situation like that, typically you take the high road. You be the bigger man. And should Dabo Swinney have done that? Maybe so. because you don't gain anything from snapping back at someone. But at the same time, guys, it's whether you're a head football coach or not, it's just a human having a human reaction. That's how I see it. So I have no issue with Dabo Swinney putting that fan in his place. I'd have no issue if it was Shane Beamer or any other coach for that matter. Like at some point, the commentary and the trolling, like to call into a call-in show like that and say some of those things, it's human nature to have that kind of reaction. And so I don't agree with everything Dabo Swinney says to his fan base and about his fan base. And, you know, it's you never want to create a divide between, let's say, you and your fan base, right? Like you can almost hear it in what Dabo's saying, like, I'm going to coach 15 more years. I don't know if it's going to be here. Like you can sort of tell that it almost feels like Spurrier at Florida, which, you know, he left Florida. I think part of it just because like nothing was good enough. You didn't win a national title or you didn't win the SEC. You had a bad season. I think that might be a reason why Clemson or Dabo leaves Clemson. It's like, I've done everything. Nothing's good enough anymore. I'm going to start a new challenge, go on a new adventure with a new group of people. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens. But for this specific situation, I have no issues with what Dabo Swinney said. I have no issues with the way he defended himself, the way he defended his program. And you want to call in and give your 2 cents and bring the heat, you're free to do that. But the person or entity, like I think this is what happens. Tyler from Spartanburg is a representation of folks on social media. You know, they troll and they pick and they prod and they poke and they expect the party that they are trolling to say nothing, ever, to say nothing in return. Right? When you're in a position of power, of status, especially of financial status, for whatever reason, and this happens across all walks of life, normal people dehumanize very successful people, both in status and fortune, what have you. They dehumanize them. Oh, that athlete's making $60 million. I can say whatever I want, no matter how outlandish it is, and he has to take it because he's making X amount of dollars. Same things goes with college coaches. Oh, you're making $11 million. I should be able to say whatever I want to you, and you just got to sit there and take it, and that's it. And that's just not the case, guys. That's just not the case. What I heard was a human reaction from a human being who was being attacked in every form, fashion, what have you. And again, I'm no Clemson fan, far from it. But rivalry aside, I have no issues with what Dabo Swinney said. I have no issues with his response. Now, he needs to respond for them by winning games, the same way that I've said that Shane Beamer needs to respond by going out and getting good football players and winning games. Nothing you say in a call-in show or a presser or anything like that's going to make anything better. But it just goes to show, you know, you want that smoke, you'll get it. If you want that smoke, you'll get it. And Dabo Swinney delivered it because he put Tyler from Spartanburg in a freaking body bag on that call-in show last night.